Okay, we're live.
So we're here tonight at the South End Police Station to do another walkthrough. I'm here with Chief Cordeiro, and this is the next in line of our getting out and seeing what's going on in the street in those particular neighborhoods where we have our highest concern. Down here we've seen some improvement, although over on Lower County Street we've had a couple of issues in the last couple of months that we want to see addressed, and we're doing a number of things. One of the big changes you'll see of late is that there is real street cleaning going on. And when I say real street cleaning going on, it means that every week it gets swept and all the cars are removed lest they be towed. So what we've seen, the reason that's relevant to our discussion is we've seen a real improvement in cleanliness of the neighborhood, but we want to see how far that goes in terms of public safety and the feeling of safety in the neighborhoods. We want our neighborhoods to be safe, but we also want them to feel safe, because the perception and the reality are very related. So a lot of work has been done here, and we want to lay eyes on what's going on so that we can shift resources or make programmatic adjustments as necessary. Chief?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I think this is a great neighborhood to take a look at. A few months ago, we were receiving a lot of complaints from a lot of the business owners, so we brought them all together into the station with the Mayor and his staff, and it was a great time for us to all sit down, talk about what were the root causes of those problems, and develop an action plan, which we did collectively from City Hall, the Police Department. As the Mayor said, they're cleaning up the streets really well, which is a big impact. And we're talking about the broken window theory. And then we put a ton of resources to address those issues that what we were hearing from the community. And from our perspective, it seems to have had a very positive effect. And it's a great time for us to go back to do the follow-up work to assess if what we put in play is actually making a difference, and what's worked for us to continue to build on, and what has not worked for us to come up with a new plan of action to address those issues. But I feel pretty happy the way things are going.
Okay, so
we'll take a walk. Yeah.
This is the third time, Chief, right? We've done this walk?
Yeah, this is our third walk that we've done. The Mayor and the Deputy Chief Oliver is with us as well. I think it's great for us and the community to get out here, and it puts you right on the street, so you get a real feel of the pulse of what's happening and what's not happening, and so we can decide what's the best next steps of action for us to take. And it's also nice to see our successes, right? It's always good.
Yeah, it's not just about touting successes, of course, but we want to lay eyes on what's happening in the neighborhoods. We do see successes. I mean, we're seeing investment over here. There was a decrepit building, older feudal home that existed here. Now we've seen some investment. That's going to be a much enlarged Mi Antoyo restaurant, which is currently on Rivet Street. Very successful, very good restaurant. They're going to be moving over there soon, so that's something that we can be proud of. But what we want is, we can talk about investment all day long and quality of life, but it all starts with public safety. And that's why we have to be hands-on.
So we got a few thanks you. We got Danielle Hart says thank you. We have Mary Lou Mendoka says thanks for doing this. Mike Oliver, thanks Joe Cordeiro. And Pinho, at least he's out there too. No questions yet. If you got questions, throw them out there.
So it is nice, at this point, to see some revitalization down here in terms of investment. That always helps. I know when I was being downtown for 10 years, it starts to slowly grow, and then it starts to snowball. And hopefully that's what happens down here.
One of the things that we're going to see in the next few years that will help with this neighborhood is people have probably seen surveying crews out on County Street in the last few months, but over the next few years you're going to see a major reconstruction of County Street that starts right over here at Nelson and moves all the way through the downtown and beyond up to the Common Park. So I think that's going to make a big difference in the long run. Again, these kinds of investments do make a difference. The cleanliness makes a difference. So, we gotta. It's all of a piece. The housing issues, the enforcement, the litter, the responsiveness to the businesses, the residents, it all adds up, and you got to be good at all of it.
So someone says you guys need to walk North Front Street. We did that. That was the first one, I think, right?
Yeah, I'll be willing to go back up there because we did that walk. We've done a ton of resources that we put up there, and just to see how from the folks that live in there, what they want to talk about, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and what we can do better. Because there's always room for improvement. From that last walk down by Roosevelt and Root Street, I've gone to a couple of community meetings, and I've had the chance to talk to some folks down here, and they've been really pleased to see that the officers are walking around, getting out of the car, and engaging people. So at some point that might even be worth going back there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing I do want to point out is as I look up County Street, I mean, I go through here all the time, and the new street sweeping program is making a big difference. And you'll see you'll see the towing sign up here. I think a lot of folks thought, some people pushed back and said, you know what, you have to tow cars, and I think the reality is that you have to. You can't effectively clean up the streets with the cars in the way. And so we can't do that on every street, and nobody wants that to happen on every street. But there's certain parts of the city, certain main roads, and this is one of them, the stretch from Cove Street up to Rivet Street, where there's got to be extra effort because we've had some really significant trash problems over the years. So that's you see the signs put up there.
So we're on County Street now, heading towards Rivet Street, guys.
Yeah.
I come through here as well as Dan does, and the thing I find very noticeable too is before we started adding our resources here and having our meetings with the folks that own businesses down here and some that live here, is we don't see as many people just hanging out here. But there was complaints of folks hanging out here in front of the bars. There's complaints about some possible folks doing some prostitution out here. So when I come down here, I've come at varying times of the day. I don't see that volume of people just hanging out as we did a few months ago before we had that meeting and started addressing those issues, which I think is also a positive effect. It's been a week. Just seen some little remnants here and there.
Hey guys, how are you? Good to see you.
Beautiful.
Nice to see you out here.
Yeah, you bet. It's a nice night for a walk.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
How you doing? Good.
How you doing?
Good.
The limitation of sweepers, this is a lot of time. I got to address that. They have the vacuum machines they use downtown. No, I don't think those are the sweeper. The one thing I just to note, guys, is I think what we want to see here is probably a little bit more of the vacuum machines. We should follow up with DPI because that'll pick up some of the larger litter. It's just the sweeper does miss some stuff, but I think that's something we want to take advantage of. I know those things, the guys will tell you that those things fill up pretty fast. So, you know, but I think with a few passes, it'll make a big difference. So I think we'll go into Novo Mundo, world famous Novo Mundo.
We'll see Carla.
We'll see Carla.
The Sunset Motors. That was that out here,
Yeah.
He's done a good job keeping his property clean, and he had talked about that. You know, some of the folks that own businesses down here to take some ownership and try to keep their storefronts clean. So you can see he's doing a really good job. How you doing?
Hey guys.
Can we stop in?
You stop in? Or you want to walk and come back and stop in? Or
Stop in. We had you going in first.
she's here. What are you guys doing? This is where you go to eat, huh? This isn't a competition? How are you? We're trying. Downtown looks good. Downtown is looking good. I like that. I like what you're doing.
Welcome to the Bedford.
Yeah. We're some bread. I do. It's very tempting. Oh, yes, sir.
I went to see the whole day.
Can you say that again?
I love your city. That's good. Where are you from? That's good. We're going to be prepared for those things.
Come here every week for chicken. We love this place.
Doing a good job. Yeah. Boa.
Now we can see the downtown. Downtown is getting better.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I like what he's doing.
Yeah, well,
And you do an excellent job because all the bad guys are there in jail.
No, we're trying.
I know, what do you mean you try? You did it. But they're all in. They're all in.
You know why? We have a lot of wonderful people in the city.
Just walking around. Chief and I are walking around.
we're from Florida.
It's not going to be too bad. It's on your train.
Yeah, cheers.
It's the best place to come here, right?
Of course, my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, of course, I couldn't give that up. Always come back to see them. Oh. Why?
Get it? If you want to, you can get it.
I gotta find some. Plenty of guys.
You got plenty of room.
Guys, how are you? How are you? You know, you wouldn't notice that.
Yeah, no.
It must have taken a lot of hard work to get
Yeah. And he's already doing some. That's when I said. That's when I said.
Yeah. Portuguese way. Oh, yeah. Portuguese.
But we love the city. That's the city they come from.
So back, man. Come on, you like it. We're trying hard. We're trying Anyway, good to see you guys. I appreciate you pointing that out to us. That's really impressive. That guy. Where's Carla? Started back in
Before that, 2006, 2004. How was it going? And then when I was 9 years old, I went back. I went from 9 and went back when I was 40. My wife kids and my friends. They've been a lower the flights.
They need to have more competition for the flight.
Keep working on it. Keep working on
I tried my own time. I see all this. I don't see people running around. I don't see prostitution. We got out here. We took the factory. We're working on that. We can't make it better.
But it's a long weekend.
These cameras are all the
I didn't meet the well, we did meet him. We're going around, so we're going around with the Bedford guy. Mike's doing the show. We've done this 9 parts of the city. So I'm here to say, by the way, Novo Mundo is one of my. I can't say favorite. I can't go on the record and say favorite. Let's just say I'm a really frequent flyer. I think people know that. It's no secret. So we're getting some free advertising on it. We don't really need it. It's just okay. Look at the place. It's packed. So I will. I'm sure I will be here this weekend. I can't use the favorite. I know. Tony's right over there. That's where he eats. So Tony, right? You got Tony from Antonio's is eating here. What does that tell you? Tony Martino. Tony. If Tony's eating here, this is the best advertising for Novo Mundo. Where does Antonio's go out to eat? Novo Mundo.
Good. Thanks for everything you do. So you're going to try to change this before you need it. Everything you've done. Okay. Hey, thanks. Hey, thanks for everything you do. I didn't realize this. We're doing a walk was this. We're doing a walk. I'm interrupting everybody's dinner time.
Now I'm starving after being in here. What are you in for? Good work. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And he's done great things for this city. I appreciate
Yeah, no, it's going to look good.
See the change.
But anyway, I got this appetite now. So I'm looking at staring at everyone.
Let's get a little chicken to go.
I know.
To get used to the stable.
I'm looking at people's leftovers and they're really done.
And Carlo will give you a full check.
Oh no, yeah, Carlo hooks me up. She hooks me up all the time. So anyway, we're gonna get out of everybody's here. We'll say bye to Carlo. We should probably get out of here. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if you see me, guys. We got some talking to do. Proud to be from the Roy, Ronnie, and those guys around. Oh yeah. 2 days ago. That's a 40 problem. We gotta figure out.
Excuse me, cameraman.
Proud to be from New Bedford. Hi, New Bedford. Love you, New Bedford.
We can only do so much at a time.
That's the best advertising. Yeah, we love New Bedford. There we go.
We're not doing it. We're going to keep coming. We're not done. One show at a time.
There's a sign over there. My customers don't speak here.
Hi guys. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for allowing me to interrupt your dinner. My pleasure. So we'll wait for the chief to come out. We're going to take a quick walk up the next block, and just to so we have I think the deputy chief's coming on out. But you know, so although I can't play favorites. I think people know that I eat here an awful lot because it is a fabulous restaurant, and you can tell by the crowd there and how much people like this place that I'm not the only one who feels that way.
Sorry,
It's the magic of life.
yes, hey. I'm sorry.
Hey, he's gonna 100 more hits.
That's all right. She has a full house in here.
Yeah, they always do well. We shoot video for them.
Slowly, so just the little things count. I mean, that we just saw an open trash barrel again. You know, we do believe in the broken window theory of policing. We have to work hard on keeping things neat because a lot of people respond to those kinds of social cues. In other words, if a place looks like a mess, people don't value it. Those are the kinds of places that attract crime. So that's why we do spend a lot of time on litter. As mundane as that sounds, that does make a difference. That's why we get rid of graffiti. That's why we You know, try to keep things as neat as possible and make sure trash isn't spilling over. So things as little as covering garbage barrels is another part of the initiative. In addition to making the police presence felt more deeply here, and that's a bigger part of it, obviously. But we're paying attention to all the little details, and that I think will add up. And by the way, you know, this is worth saying. These two bakeries, the Bedford Baking and Casa Victoria, fabulous bakeries. Again, you probably get in the picture that I eat everywhere, and it's true.
They do have good sweet bread. I can vouch for that.
At the end of the thing on the bottom.
Yeah, so this is Rogers Paint. So Rogers Paint had been there for about 100 years, and Victor Rebello, the owner, retired, and now we've got a new business in there, which is great to see. Hey, John. How are you? Nice to see you. How's it going? Good to see you. What a night, huh? You were perfect. Yeah. Perfect out tonight. Yeah, you got I don't know, man. We've had such a weird summer. You know, raining, and then I got cold. People wear jackets this week, and now it's like, you know, it feels like Florida.
Yeah. We live in a good area. What about the poor people down in Texas?
Houston, oh man.
Which was crazy.
Yeah, I know the mayor a little bit, and he's a good man. But I don't know. That is just such a huge disaster. It's still right, 50 inches of rain. If we ever got 50 inches of snow, that would be a disaster. This is 50 inches of rain. It's a tremendous amount of water.
Hey, guys.
How are you? Hey, good to see you.
You come this way. We get out of here.
That's all right.
I'm going straight. I don't want to see you get hit.
I think they're used to going around us by now.
No.
I see you around here.
Yeah, no, we're taking a walk through, you know, stopping in at some of the restaurants and
Get to talk to these guys?
Get
to know everybody.
Yeah, Chief and I have been doing that for the last couple of months in different parts of the city, just getting out and about. So, anyway, you guys doing all right? Things are good?
Good?
Good seeing you.
Always good, right?
Good seeing you. All right, guys.
Want to head back this way?
Make
a loop somewhere?
Just walk up just a little bit more.
He's all right? Good. I know. I'm around, though. I'm here everywhere.
I know. We gotta get rid of all this stuff. You know, the phone company, this is an example, the phone company left all of these behind. So there aren't too many payphones anymore around and about, and for obvious reasons, people have cell phones now. But you know, these things are left all over the place. So what I'd ask people who are listening is, you know, if you see some of this, call it into DPI. We'll get it pulled out, because all this is, at this point, this is, some people might treat this as an antique. Others might treat it as garbage, but it doesn't belong here anymore. And so we want to know about it so we can get these out. So we're going to get rid of this one. And as I said, if people see them, you know, we'll remove them. The phone company should have done that a long time ago, but we're not going to wait around for them to make that happen.
So schools have started up. How's stuff going so far with the schools?
Yeah, so far so good. It looked like a pretty good start today. You know, the first day of school can be a little chaotic for families, and you know, I did the drop-offs of my kids this morning, and things seem to be going pretty well. You know, and look, you know, I think sometimes on the first day of school, you know, parents will, you know, get there, and you know, sometimes with kids signing up and changing courses and schedules and stuff, kids switching schools, there can be you know, some disruption. If that ever happens, and I didn't hear any reports of it today, but if that happens, you know, just to let the principal know, and they'll get it sorted out. But overall, a good start to the school year. I got to speak at the teacher convocation earlier this week, and the teachers are ready to go. They had a good summer. Many of them worked over the course of the summer, and they're ready to get after it this year. You know, we got some interesting stuff happening, especially at the middle schools. The elementary schools have made some really significant progress, and we're really starting to see things gel at New Bedford High School this year. So we're looking forward to a good year.
And we had cruisers going out to some of the schools to help with the parking enforcement, try to keep the kids safe from going to the cars to the school. We had a meeting with Dr. Jerkin. We had all our commanders meet all the principals in all the schools. So things are going real well.
Yeah. So what do you want? Do you want to? What do you think, Chief? Turn around and walk back?
Go back. Things looks like pretty quiet out here, which is nice.
Yeah. Unless you want to wrap up, Mike. I mean, it's up to you. Whatever you think.
Yeah, we'll wrap up and I'll take photos on the way back.
Yeah,
so
okay.
We'll do this again soon, and if you guys have questions, post them on there. We'll send them over to the mayor's office or the chief of police office, and they can answer them. So thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mike.
Thank you,
for
Mike.
having us.